Okay, here we are to perform a test that for something that I discovered when I put a fixture in the lathe, turned and faced, threaded, turned and faced a fixture in the lathe for another experiment we were doing regarding barrel timing and its repeatability. And during that experiment I used some barrels that had barrel nuts on them to find out how they worked, and I found a really disturbing problem that I want to share with you. See what you think. I'd like others to check this out. Here's a conventionally fitted barrel. It's been all kinds of things in its day. Right now it's let's see, looks like it's a PPC. Must be a heavy PPC. So I just went really loose, like finger tight. Now I go up, I'll continue to use my fingers. I finger tighten this barrel in, and now I stick a dial indicator on it, and I'll put it to 0 just to be cool. It's around 0, and you can see that it'll flex up and down. Again, finger tight, just flex it up and down. Now watch this. I push down, and it returns to just short of 0. I bring up, and it returns to 0. So just finger tight, the shouldered abutments on the barrel are doing their job. Now I can crank this down and I can make it a lot easier, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it in a place that I can turn it. Again, a little more. It's hard to use just my fingers because my fingers are greasy and oily. But I'm going to continue to try to do that. Just my fingers. I turned it a little bit, backed it in and out. Get the gauge again where you can read it easily. Bounce back, bounce back, bounce back, bounce back, bounce. About 1.5 thou right there on a conventionally shouldered barrel. So now let's pop this out of here, and I'm going to put a barrel in that's got a. Now note, these are not especially, no barrel threads should ever be super tight. If you got barrel threads that go together like a Cadillac door, you're not going to be happy, because that's how you, especially with the stainless actions, that's how stainless actions get galled. But we set this aside. Now we take a, here's a barrel with a nut on it. So, homemade nut. Inch 350, which means it's quite a lot bigger than your typical nut. Going in, going in. Now we do the same thing. We're going to go basically finger tight here. Put our indicator on there and see what happens here. Set that at 0. Whoops. Indicator's getting loose. Too much jimmy jacking around. Okay, so we pushed it down. I'll bring it to 0. Now I pick it up. Whoa, that's where it gets startling. Can you see? Let's do this now. I'm going to bring you up and show you the movement in that joint. Might have to go to autofocus. I'll try this. This self-filming means I have to waste a little time here. What we've got here, now I can bring this up and down, and I can try my best to center it back up. But we're still getting we slipped. See that joint slip over there? I call that coaxial movement. Now, can we get rid of it? Not really. I mean, I'm hand tight. That coaxial movement right there can only happen because that nut is rotating and allowing those two surfaces to do this. Now I could go on. This is my first ones. I've had a whole stack of barrels here. But I think that that's just apparent enough that it's, I'll throw another nutted one or two in there. Conventionally shouldered barrels just don't exhibit the tendency. They just don't have the problem. I need to get that out of there. I'm hooking it with my finger. Here's one I've never tried. I'll do this with a great big oversized nut on it just to be different. Let's see, what have I got there? Ah, that one's gone. Kicked back underneath. There's a big meaty oversized one. Let's see if that'll work. Dingle, 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 dingle. This is actually a gauge, but it'll work for a barrel nut, and it's a pretty big barrel nut. It's longer than normal. It's got a wider than normal matching face here. As you can see, it's got a really big shoulder on this end. That's cut back. It's a cone angle setting gauge. We're going to use it as a barrel nut. The question is, can we get it to exhibit that coaxial movement? And the answer is yes. Now, I can tighten this up. I've already done it, of course. What I mean by of course is I've already done it to find out, you know, when I'm shooting these, I've been shooting nutted barrels and getting results that are not making me super happy. They work good for hunting guns. I've been doing it for quite a while. But for accuracy stuff, I've been seeing some what I thought were anomalies, and this just leapt out at me. That coaxial sliding movement that we can get right there is something that, and I can see from here, you can't see it from there, but I can see that as these two surfaces move like this, I can actually see the top of that nut right there twist to follow. It actually moves to follow the surface. So it's not coaxial in the sense of a coaxial rest exactly, but I'm going to call that motion coaxial because it'll go, I need to get that indicator out before I rip the end right off of it. It'll go all directions. And the reason I brought up the old engineer's trick is about exacerbating problems is, even though I could never see, and nobody can see this problem when the barrel is tight, the old engineer's trick is to loosen it up a little and see what you see. Well, that's what I did. And with this loose, now, with a conventional barrel as tight as I just cranked it, I can't get this to move at all. I can't get any of this. Because as it tries to rotate, this can't get out of the way, so the corners bear down. So that's where I am right now with this barrel nutting thing, and I'm hoping to come up with a fix for it. I'm hoping to come up with a solution, but as of this moment, during my other test where I was barreling a gun and putting it in the fixture and trying to, you know, show the efficacy or not of timing, indexing, setting barrels to where I want them, this showed up, and I just freaked out on it. I went after it, and now I'm exploring this and seeing if I can get rid of it. So, until next time, maybe I'll come back and have something that will act as a fix on this. I don't know. I've got a couple of things to try. I would try them on camera, except for the fact that it gets really long and boring. So if I find something in the next hour or two, I'll fire the camera back up. Thanks.